Hola, 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 ¿cómo están? Hey, everybody. Music is thought of as a very uncertain profession. The demand for music is not going to end with this virus. I'm going to give you a little more about how I record, because I'm sure most people don't have a clue about how a blind person records. We were all like sending files over the internet. The real power in this industry is ours if we want to take it.
It's all coming up on the Laura Flanders Show, the place where the people who say it can't be done take a back seat to the people who are doing it. Welcome. Hi, I'm Laura Flanders, and welcome to one of our special home editions of the Laura Flanders Show. Grammy-nominated artist Raul Midón has been called a syncopated wonder. His latest album, The Mirror, was released just days before the COVID-19 crisis hit in the US. But Raul has turned this stay-at-home moment into an opportunity to share his work and to work with artists all around the world. Raul, welcome to the Laura Flanders Show, and I want to begin by thanking you. I have been having a fairly grim week for one reason or another, but listening to your work this morning and last night just completely lifted my spirits. So first, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And second, who lifts your spirits? What are the roots of your music?
I don't know why, but I find myself listening to a lot of sort of like meditative, relaxing music with no lyrics. There are certain records that I love listening to. Every now and then I have to hear The Funky Drummer by James Brown, The World is a Ghetto by George Benson. Whenever I want to get inspired for songwriting, I listen to Tapestry or Blood on the Tracks, the Bob Dylan record.
So you have quite an eclectic taste there, and that explains, in a way, the eclecticism of your work. I know that there are people that probably have to, on a regular basis, check out your extraordinary Giant Steps recording, the Coltrane piece, where you fly through a gazillion keys on your keyboard in about a second.
On the guitar, yeah, all of them. I sing it too, which is something that most people don't do. And I improvise sing it. I don't just sing something that's been worked out.
Absolutely. So the frets, the keyboards, your mouth, it all becomes one incredible sound. I mean, you've been called a sort of syncopated wonder, and I can see why. I guess my question is, if you were to describe your music to somebody who hadn't heard it, what would you say? How would you describe it?
My music is a compilation of everything that I love in music. So there's the rhythm comes from a lot of Latin and African influences, whether it's roots Cuban music or salsa. The chord and melodies part of it is very jazz influenced, Brazilian influenced, and the lyrics and the singing is soul music, really. I've never fit neatly into any category. It's always been a distillation of everything that I love in music, including classical. I listened to a lot of contemporary classical music when I was a kid, which I credit with opening up my ears.
How do you explain the fact that you were exposed to music like that? Were your parents musicians?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my dad is a huge music connoisseur and collector. We had all these incredible records. We lived out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico. And, so I didn't have the advantage of being able to go to a club. Like if you live in New York City, every night you can go see incredible music. So luckily we had, public radio. And I always, growing up, if it wasn't for public radio, it would have been a desert.
Well, you mentioned the nightlife of New York and going out to clubs every night, and it gave me a pang in my belly as we sit here in
Yeah.
COVID land.
Yeah.
You were about to perform, I think, in New York, releasing
Yes.
your newest album, The Mirror, when the
Yes.
shutdown came. Let's play a clip from that to give people a sense. This is, it seems to me, variously titled, I Really Want to See You Again, or I Really Like to See You Again.
To be very honest with you, it was a mistake on my part. I sang, I'd really like to see you again, but we called it, I really want to see you again, even though that never appears.
Well, what did Leonard Cohen say about the mistake that makes things perfect? Here it is. I Really Want to See You Again from Midón's most recent album, The Mirror.
I never wanted to break your heart. I never wanted to hurt you. I never thought there could be anyone like you in my life. Oh no, I can't remember why we drifted apart. I can't remember when it started. I only know that I would really like to see you again. Oh yeah, to see you again. Oh yeah. Save me, baby, I'm crazy, but I'd really like to see you again.
It's just gorgeous, Raul. I think people are getting it, why I started this conversation talking about feeling cheery. How have you adapted to this COVID-19 shutdown?
One of the things that I've had to do is not think about would've, should've, could've. That really gets depressing, and I've certainly fallen into that trap at certain points. But you can't look at, well, if this wasn't happening, I'd be doing this and I'd be doing that and I'd be making this much money, and it's kind of made me. I mean, it's cliche, but it's made me more. Here's another day in which I have enough to eat and I'm healthy and I have shelter and I have my creative possibility, and that's it.
Well, you've been sharing that creative possibility with people on YouTube.
So you think you don't need me anymore? They say I'm no longer what you're looking for. All your so-called friends are just a means to an end. You're losing the battle to win a war, but I'm holding up a mirror. Do you like what you see? 'Cause I'm holding up a mirror so you can see what you look like to me.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your goals there? Because you're not just playing the music, you're kind of doing a grand reveal of your home studio.
I've been producing and engineering my records now since this is the 5th record I think I've done. I've always been very into all aspects of music, not just writing it and playing it and singing it, but also the recording, because when you record, that becomes the instrument as well. Because how something sounds, whether it's, got lots of reverb or no reverb, and how loud the voice is in the mix compared to everything else, or not loud, or just everything is part of what people feel when they listen to a recording. And so once I realized that it was possible for me to manipulate the tools which have not been accessible to a blind person up until fairly recently. The technology, the recording technology has not been accessible because one of the first things you got to do, as all of you know, is look at the meters and see how the levels are. All of those tools, with the help of some very smart people and some script writing, and became accessible to me. We are in the studio today, and I'm going to give you a little more about how I record, because I'm sure most people don't have a clue about how a blind person records, much less a sighted person. But anyway, so I am sitting in front of the mics here, and this is an A67 microphone, which is a copy of a Neumann, and I record the bridge with this mic, and this is this other mic is I record the I record the neck with this mic and the bridge with this mic. So and I have, in order to do this, a little remote control device here, which is a transport, and what this does is it allows me to control things without touching the keyboard. Hooked up to this thing is a foot pedal, so when I'm recording, when I'm playing the guitar, I can hit this foot pedal here and punch in and out without moving positions. Those of you who record know, if you're recording the guitar with two mics and you move a little bit, it changes the way that it records, changes the levels, the image, and all that stuff.
The keyboard thing that you operate, it isn't a piano, it's operating clips and adjusting those levels, as you mentioned. You also have something called a transport. Like, how do they connect?
Yes, there's two things. There's a regular keyboard, like the kind you use on a computer. And then there's the transport thing that I was talking about, is basically a way to remote control certain things, because when you have both hands on the guitar, for example, you don't want to have to take your hands off to hit the space bar when you record.
We have regularly reported on this program about how people with disabilities and independent artists have been the hackers of our future. They recreate an economy or create an economy and a way of doing things for themselves in a society that is ableist and bigoted in all sorts of ways, no more so than the old studio system, which we also have in television and radio.
Yes,
we are the people who have broken out of that and figured out how to do it differently. Some people talk about disability justice as the idea that making life better for people with disabilities would actually make life better for everybody. Do you relate to any of that? Do you consider yourself part of that movement, that world?
I mean, I think so. I think in many ways we have come such a long way. In some ways, the technology may be ahead of the consciousness, which is kind of, I guess, part of what's going on in the world in general. The technology really has equalized not equalized, I don't want to say equalized, but has helped to make the playing field a little more equal. So it's still an economic situation, because all of this technology costs money. For a long time, when I was going to college, I was getting supplemental security income, because I couldn't really afford. I mean, I needed the money, you know. And when I started to make enough money not to, I tried to get them to stop it, because, you know, I felt like, well, I'm getting this and I don't really need it anymore. And that led to a rehabilitative person coming to my house and saying, well, you know, I wanted to get a certain piece of technology that cost a certain amount of money, and they were going to help me get it. But they said, well, but you don't have a real job. And I said, well, I do. I mean, I earn money as a musician. And they said, yeah, but that's not a real job. And because these people can't imagine a blind person earning money through music, enough money to, you know, and they don't consider me somebody who's working. So it's complicated, because I think in general we are on the side of cruelty in this country, as opposed to, you know, when you set up a system, You're always going to be able to find somebody that's taking advantage of it. But the question is who's getting left behind?
One of the things you've been involved in since the COVID pandemic hit is an effort to contest Facebook and YouTube's use of artists' materials without money or resources going back to those artists. Can you talk a little bit about that campaign?
When you have a company that is worth billions of dollars and their worth is based on the content that is provided by us, the creators. And I've read up some on this. So an artist, and this is only if you own, this is not, it doesn't even apply if you're signed to a record label. But if you own your publishing and you're the songwriter and you're the performer, you get $0.006 per stream. That seems wrong to me. You need 3 million streams to even get above the poverty line. That's crazy. So I think, especially at this time, I mean, with these companies, if they gave 1% of their profits, musicians wouldn't be in dire straits that they are now. And some musicians are. If I didn't own my publishing, I would have no income whatsoever. None. Zero. The only reason I have a little bit of income is because I own my music.
Do you think that scene of small venues, the kind of clubs and music spaces that first gave opportunity to so many independent artists is ever coming back? And if not, what's going to take its place?
I don't know. We are in a situation right now that none of us could have imagined 3 months ago. And in some way, I think it kind of has to come back because every single musician, almost everyone, got their opportunity in a small venue. They start out playing in a small venue. Even in classical, maybe in classical you don't play in a bar or a club, but you play in a tiny little recital hall or something like that.
One thing that is happening that you have been a part of are these extraordinary collaborations happening across boundaries.
I'm doing that right now. I did a video with Marcus Miller and a bunch of people with Someday We'll All Be Free. We're all like sending files over the internet.
It was extraordinary. That was with the Monte Carlo Philharmonic.
Yes.
Unbelievably gorgeous. We're going to play a clip of it.
Hang on to the world as it spins around. Just don't let that spin get you down.
Oh, things are moving fast. Hold on tight, and you will last.
Keep your self-respect, moving right. Get yourself in gear, keep your stride. Never mind your feet.
Brighter days will soon be here.
Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Did you record all that individually and then they put it together? Or was that
Absolutely.
somehow...
I recorded all my parts in my studio right here in the house.
Well, it's the most gorgeous thing in the world.
Yeah, it really was. And that's also a testament to, like, they had some real some real heavies on the other end to do the editing the way they did. I mean,
Well,
that
I bet
was
you
pretty.
weren't unhappy with being the first voice you hear.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, and you know what a great opportunity working with Marcus with the with Monaco Philharmonic. We did a couple of times we worked together, and it was really quite a thrill.
Talk to young artists for a minute. Marcus Miller, you, Herbie Hancock, all the greats, you were all just starting out once, and I'm imagining there are artists just starting out once who are wondering what the hell are they going to do? How do they move
Yeah.
forward? Talk a bit
The
about
only
it.
thing I can say is the demand for music is not going to end no matter what happens with this virus. And so, you know, my only mantra has been be the best that you can, work on this is a beautiful time to work on your craft, you know, to practice, to be, and when it's time for you to come out, whenever that is, if you've been conscientious about working on, you're going to be okay. You know, it's interesting. Music is thought of as a very sort of unstable or uncertain profession, and it is right now for sure. But in some ways, the people who are fairly easy to get along with and who have worked and who are really good at what they do, I've found that they always have work. You know, they always have something. It's usually, and not always. I mean, I don't want to make a too general of a statement, but I've always thought that it was necessary to at least spend some time in a center of entertainment. You know, it's why I moved to New York City in my 30s, because I thought, man, I want to be where the action is. Now, how necessary that is going forward, I don't know. But I still think being in the mix where the best people are, whether it's, you know, I guess if you're into theater or music, you know, New York, or if you're into making movies, then it's LA, you know, whatever. There's a lot of value there.
One thing that I'd also take from your work, though, Raul, is your questioning and challenging of some of our assumptions around artistry. In your lyrics, you talk about raw ambition and the pitfalls of that. In your Facebook sharing, you're revealing the technology that some might keep super secret just for themselves. In your discussions, you've made a point of saying this is the work of many people, when there are a lot of people super attached to that individual star artist, maybe it is staritis, idea. And finally, I would say, you know, name one job that's reliable, secure, predictable at this moment. Artists with your great sense of balance and possibility may be our leaders in this moment of reinvention.
Hopefully we're going to learn that the real power in this industry is ours if we want to take it. Without us, the record executives have no jobs. The lawyers, the managers, the agents have no job. So why do we give all our power away? The unevenness of the distribution for us with streaming and you know, becoming more and more the way we listen to music. Man, there's got to be a fairer way to do it. I don't fault or want to denigrate Facebook or YouTube but come on, man, give us a fair shake. You're making billions of dollars off the content we create. There's got to be a better way to distribute that wealth.
We often end these interviews by my asking my guests what they think the story will be that the future tells of this moment. So, I don't know, 50 years from now, 25 years from now, what do you think will be the history that we have made right here, right now?
Well, I think it'll be a sort of two tracks. There'll be a track of the people who found a way to make things work, whether it's teachers finding a way to teach kids remotely, and people who did heroic things to save. And then there's going to be a story of the incredible lack of leadership in our world, not just in this country. All of this sort of nationalism is exactly what we don't need right now. What we need is cooperation, because this is a worldwide situation. And the lack of leadership is just, we couldn't be worse led in our country right now. It couldn't get any, I couldn't have even imagined that we had such an incompetent government right now. And I don't want to generalize, because there's a lot of parts of the government, but certainly the leadership is just, it's sad.
Well, I don't want to tempt fate by suggesting it can't be worse, but I agree with you.
I still have faith, because of the fact that information has a way of leaking out in this country, and that enough people will say, hey, come on, man, we're better than this as a country. We're better than this as a people, as a human race.
Raul Midón, thank you so much for your work and for your time with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.